Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:05 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we have a great interview today. We are going to learn all about soup for my family with our great friend Rachel Roseby. That was correct, right? All right, awesome. So we've got some news to talk about and everything like that that's going on in this city, and then we'll get into our interview. And first things first, very, very important, ARTA. We've been telling folks about ARTA. It is the Aurora Area Retired Teachers Association, and they have their second drive-through box dinner sale from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Tuesday, December 1st at Gaslight Manor. Entree options are Greek chicken, roast pork, fettuccine alfredo. Side dishes are roasted potatoes, green beans, and desserts. The public is invited. The cost is $20. The proceeds will benefit a Coats for Kids drive by Aurora CIS, which is Communities in School. Very cool. Founded in 1958, they are a community service nonprofit. Shout out to ARTA. All right. Now on the 22nd, there will be a drive-through turkey giveaway event starting on that morning. Headliners, Barbershop, Endless Possibilities Auto, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Fitness in Naperville, and the Reina family are coming together to give back to the community during these hard times. As we know, many families have been struggling due to the pandemic, and these type of initiatives go a long way. Save the date. This will be a safe and socially distanced event. Big shout out to all the businesses involved. Holla. Pretty cool. The Illinois Office of Tourism announced 31 new small businesses have been recognized by the Illinois MAID program, including Hearth and Hammer General, a candle studio and retail boutique that just opened in downtown Batavia, Illinois. Shout out to Hearth and Hammer, and shout out to the Aurora Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, otherwise known as CVB. See Vizzle Bizzle. All right, and Aurora Downtown's annual Cocoa Crawl will be without the crawl this year due to COVID-19. Instead, 2020 Cocoa Crawl mugs will be sold starting on, they were started last Friday. But they're on sale now, along with hot cocoa recipe cards. So this is not just like Swiss Miss, y'all. This is, it's that real deal. The big marshmallows, not the little, not the dollar bag from like Aldi. All right, and with that, that is the news for today. So now we get into our interview with our friend. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you as well.
All right. I want to start off by saying that, as I told you in our pre-conversation, I think what you're doing is excellent.
Thank you.
And that combined with the turkey giveaway, and there's been a couple other, local level kind of things for the holiday.
There's a lot of love happening.
Yeah. During this holiday time, that's really important. So that's awesome. So why don't you start us off? Tell us who you are and where you're from.
I am Rachel Roseby. I'm from my mother originally. I was born in Chicago proper.
Okay.
And then I moved all over. Not an army brat. Was never in the military. Just happened to live a fortunate life where I traveled all over. I did grow up in Schaumburg. So I settled there for a bit, and I've lived in Alaska, everywhere. And now I'm happy to say I'm from Aurora.
What part of Alaska?
This is my home. Anchorage, Girdwood, Healy, and a little bit of time around the North Pole area, which is where Santa lives. Yes, you can visit him, I think, 364 days a year and see the reindeer.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is true.
Interesting. So how many years here in Aurora now?
I am on 6 years.
Very cool.
And it feels like home now.
Good. Glad to have you. Here we find ourselves in a pandemic, and it's, since March of this year. How has COVID affected your life?
COVID has affected my life in a lot of ways. It's made me realize how fortunate I am. And again, this is probably a lot of my influences from childhood that led me to grow up and choose my life. So I'm very comfortable in that I'm surrounded with people I love, and I make my inside my house life as comfortable as I can with what I have to work with. So it's made me cherish that, and it just helped me, I guess, just be thankful. And I've found ways to reach out to people, even if it's something little like at the beginning I would see someone say they don't have toilet paper, or they went to the store and they couldn't find this and that. So if we had it, we'd sneak on their porch and leave it for them.
Right.
Just because you should be doing that for your friends and neighbors.
Right.
And
Boy, that makes a better community, doesn't it?
I think it does, and I've seen a lot of really great people come out of themselves and come out of their shell and do things that maybe they didn't. They would want to say, well, I want to do good things, or I want to do this and that, and I think that helped a lot of people.
Would you say that people are born with that instinct to help others,
Yes.
to help the neighbor?
Yes. If you're into history, if we look back into when, we have the saying, it takes a village,
It does.
which it does. So if we look back to when we were all a village, we all lived in different tribal type of communities where everybody had their roles, everyone helped out. You didn't have, you did once in a while, but you typically didn't have someone off to the side of the community or the village being hungry or this and that. Everyone had their part and everyone helped out. So it's biological, it's innate in us. Life happens, and nurture over nature. Some people, their heart hardens a little bit, or they go through different things.
Sure.
But if you travel around the world, still to this day, people are doing it that way, that village life, that community life. The more developed we got in other countries, I think the further we got away from that. And we got spoiled and jaded.
I think other countries now are becoming or experiencing some of that spoiled jadedness. They find themselves now in the 2020 with a lot of their ancient traditions, going away and with the rise of technology. So yeah.
And the why should I's.
Right, exactly, yeah. I've always felt that for the people who say one should pull himself up by their bootstrap, one should just, hey, you gotta struggle in the mud sometimes. I've always felt like that's easy for them to say, or that's such a default position to have without thinking about another person.
It's callous.
It is.
I've never agreed with it. And I don't think maybe those people have experienced enough of life. We all have personal hardships, so I'm not here to say
Of course
what they
not.
experienced
Of
in their
course not.
home growing up, or what they experienced in a first marriage. I'm not here to say that. I don't judge and don't feel that way. But if you haven't really seen someone in that situation where they're just stuck, or their whole life has been hard, or they had something good going and then a whole lot of bad stuff happens, and they tried, and then you just kind of get stuck in that place. You don't even have bootstraps to pull yourself up by.
Right. Would you say that with the rise of technology, it's easier to do good?
Yes. I've seen, I'm sure if we have social media, a lot of us have seen where there will be naysayers, like, well, why does this person post about doing this? Or why does this person, because it's not truly altruistic. Well, we never know what truly altruistic things any person does in a given day. Even just stopping and making eye contact with someone and saying, hey, how are you? Like, that really can make someone's day, and no, we're not going to post about that. However, I think other people see people posting about a nice thing, a kind thing, and they think, you know what, wow, this makes me feel really good to think about. I want to do that too. And then they use that same technology to figure out resources to do something they want to do.
Right. Good point. That's a good point. Now you have much more access to look at nonprofits and things like that are doing that to help yourself to do that too. So yeah, there is a good aspect in that. To your point, I've never liked those purposeful, memes or quick 15-second clips to show the generosity.
That falls under clickbait for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of those specific videos that are engineered for likes.
Right.
But I have to think maybe if, oh, let's give a crazy number, let's say 61,000 people see that video. They're all going to feel different ways, but maybe there's 5 out of that 61,000 that watch that and they think, oh my gosh, that makes me feel really good. I want to go do something.
Right.
And they go, you know, go get a fast food meal for Dave, you know, that they see standing at the stoplight every day. To me, it helped.
Let's talk soup.
Yes.
Let's talk soup. First of all, do you have a favorite type of soup? Did you ever have one growing up?
The classic chicken noodle with the wide homemade noodles.
Of course,
the
right.
wide ones,
Not the
big
little,
ones.
right.
No.
Yeah, not the shoestring fried noodles. Yeah. All right, all right. Who made it best?
So when I would go to this restaurant, which I think is really kind of icky now, it was called Old Country Buffet. And I mean, buffets, they're not for me. But they had this, I don't know. I don't
chicken
know
noodle
if
was
they
bomb.
had a great chef, and I don't know if it came in frozen and they heated it up. I didn't ask questions. I was a kid, but it had big carrot chunks and the white egg noodles and, you know, shredded chicken, and that was great. And then I grew up to make that one.
And appreciate it more.
Yeah.
What's the best soup to eat with crackers?
I like a cream soup with my crackers. What do you think? Do you like chicken noodle with your crackers, or
Or
chili?
is chili a soup?
Eh,
I mean,
Chili's its own thing.
Chili with, yeah. Chili with crackers is, but soup with crackers, I'd have to say like a wild rice soup or a chicken noodle with if I'm eating with crackers. But to your point, like I like good chicken noodle. Like I would need the wide noodle, not the little skinny, right?
Not like a Campbell's or the Lipton boxed.
Exactly, no. But even though the Lipton box did get me through, it got me through.
I've eaten plenty of that. There's no shade here about soup brands and restaurants or people. I promise, there's no shade. It's just, you know,
right, of course.
sometimes we
upgrade,
move beyond.
upgrade.
Yeah, always upgrade.
So we talked about the sense of giving, and with the soup and everything. What is the method that people can get the soup? How does Soup for My Family distribute?
Okay, so for right now, you can come to my house Tuesdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And I have it in to-go containers. I'm so grateful and blessed. So I came up with this idea and, you know, said, I'm looking for this type of to-go container,
Right.
and so many people stepped forward and they sent me the to-go containers and the spoons, and that was just amazing.
Yes.
I started this, and we're paying for everything on our own, so that was a really nice blessing. So it's in to-go containers. I have spoons for everyone, and that's for now. I'm hoping that we can upgrade to maybe one of the pop-up canopy tents with the 3 sides, so when the weather gets worse, hopefully people can step in, because I'm doing it on my lawn. We did set up last week on the porch because I saw in the forecast all day
Because
there was
last
going
week
to
was
be
nice,
rain.
yeah.
There was going to be rain, so we set up on the porch, and we have lamps out there and everything, so it's cozy and cute. But then the rain started, and it was like there was a tornado warning, and the winds hit, so I had to bring it in.
Right.
And that was really upsetting for me.
So folks can just pull up and get the to-go containers and the spoons.
Yep.
That's very cool. What's the soup of the day? Does it change? Do you have it advertised, like what the soup of the day is going to
I
be?
need to start. I'm still a little bit shy about posting online in the groups and stuff, but it's so every week it is a different soup.
Okay.
So this week it's bean soup.
Bean soup. Oh, that sounds good. What was it last week?
Last week was cheddar broccoli. So I ended up hand delivering some soups to people since the storm was so bad. I didn't want people to miss out.
What would you like people to know about Soup for My Family?
It's soup for my family, it's soup for your family, it's for everyone. So no one needs to feel shy. There's no registration needed. If you want soup, just come get some soup. I don't ask questions. It's not, your life isn't my business unless you want it to be. So maybe you're my next door neighbor and you want soup, and that's great. Anywhere from all over Aurora, or anywhere, I really don't mind.
Right.
You could be from, well, I won't name any town, I don't want to pick a favorite. You could be from any town.
What you saying about my town? We talked about those things about registration, and you got to have 2 forms of ID and 3 bills, all within the last 26 days. What is the impact of things like that on small initiatives like giving away food to people who need it?
I'm not experienced enough yet to know what the impact is. Hopefully it's a good impact. So again, just come get soup, come experience some fellowship and some community. It's not my business. No one needs to feel shame because everyone likes soup. So
Right.
just come get some soup. We also have a little table out of some books and coats and clothes and things. So hopefully it's a very positive impact. And if someone goes to those things like the food pantry and things where you need to register and have an ID, come get my soup too. Or if you don't
Right.
do that, come get some soup.
Right. When we did talk initially, there was a lot of things that that I had mentioned that some of the best, the best meeting organizations try to do, all the roadblocks that they have up kind of prevent people from taking part in certain things. Minestrone soup is one of my favorites. Do you
Okay.
make minestrone?
I have not yet, so we can do
Okay.
that next week.
All right, cool. Because I would really like some good minestrone soup.
Okay.
It is a favorite soup of mine. I think I have
Okay.
to ask the guests and the listeners what they think about it. That'd be a good
I
poll.
would like a soup poll.
That would be a good poll. All right. So, next question. What things do you want to see here in the city of Aurora?
I want to see more small businesses. I want to see a greener initiative. I think we already have a great sense of community with things like the First Fridays. I think Marissa does an amazing job with that. So
Correct.
I want to see more stuff like that and more word of mouth. We have community gardens. More of those is always a great idea. I did a number of things in Santa Barbara, like a really, really free market. So it's kind of similar to what I'm doing, except it would be just a bunch of people would kind of spread wares almost, like an open air market, except it's just free stuff. So the community comes and just sometimes you could barter, you can trade, or just, I really like this skirt, can I have that skirt? And I think that's amazing. Time banking is another thing that I have worked with. Are you familiar with that?
Not yet.
Okay, so I want to start, I live on the west side, so I would probably start a west side time bank. Just Aurora is such a huge city, so then anyone is welcome. Please start one in your neighborhood. I believe you can go to, and I will check this, I believe you can go to timebank.org, but if you Google Time Bank, it comes up, there's an official website, there's some training for it. So
Okay.
basically, so say, we'll use my neighborhood as the example. So say I start the West Side Time Bank. You hold a meeting, so people in the neighborhood who are interested can come to the meeting, and it's like a briefing, an education, and everyone who wants to can sign up.
Right.
So you have your own website, and everyone who has a skill. So maybe your skill is, maybe Jennifer's skill is she can massage. Maybe Kelvin's skill is he's a plumber. Maybe somebody else's skill is they like to read out loud. So any kind of skill that you don't have to be,
Right. Right.
serious about it. Maybe somebody else likes to bake cupcakes. So basically everyone signs up, says, or somebody maybe is a licensed driver so they can offer rides. So you get time bank hours. So if I go to Kevin's house and I organize his pantry, I get 1 time bank hour. So
Okay.
that goes in the bank. So then let's say I need a ride. So I can ask Michaela, hey, I see you give rides. May I get a ride from you? So then that I pay with my 1 time bank hour. And so on and so forth. The possibilities are just
endless.
crazy.
Yeah. All right, I
So
like
I
that.
think that's another nice thing, that it really costs nothing except your time. That's why it's a time bank.
Right.
And it spreads some love and sense of community and helps people get to know each other, and people don't have to sit at home. And I see that on some of the community pages. Like, well, I really need this, but I don't have money, or who, please, who can recommend the most affordable plumber?
Right.
And that's life. The further we get away from that old sense of community.
Of course.
So I just want to bring that back.
I like that. Time banking. Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Is that where? Okay. All right. What's Santa Barbara like?
Santa Barbara is interesting. It's one of the most beautiful cities I've been to, next to maybe like Manzanillo, Colima in Mexico. It's like the American Riviera, so it's beautiful. There's no middle class there. It's really wealthy
Right.
and it's
Destitute.
poor, yeah,
Right.
unfortunately. But there's a lot of beautiful souls that live there, so I just got involved with some really amazing stuff, and I do
Right.
recommend it.
Santa Barbara.
And these days, when it's safe again to travel, there's Airbnbs, there's nice options. So
Right.
you don't have to go stay at the Four Seasons or anything. You can if you want to, and you're able, but.
Right. The West Coast. Yeah, Santa Barbara. Never been there. Only heard good things about it though, so I would like to check that out someday.
Yeah. They had a good farmer's market, lots of fruit trees, they surfed.
So a couple of things that I've seen. Now you mentioned farmers market.
Yeah.
So our farmers market here is the oldest one in the state. I found that
Oh my
out not
gosh.
too long ago.
That's
So I've seen the farmers market come up. Well, it's been there, but really start coming up in a robust way with a whole lot of new vendors and what have you. Farmers market, our Fox River. Those are some of the things that I like that are nice crowd gatherers. Have you been to the River's Edge Park before? Before it's.
I have not.
Okay.
I drive past it all the time, and then just when I was starting to learn about it, I'm going to go.
You like
COVID
live
happened.
music and shows?
I
And,
do,
Yeah?
yeah.
Interesting. What kind of music you listen to?
All kinds.
All
I'm not
kinds?
the person that will say everything, but I love opera. I love country. I like a lot of the old country, the classics.
Like Hank Williams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash.
Right.
I like hip hop. I like hardcore rap. I like Cuban music. Just everything.
All kinds of stuff.
I listen to a lot of. So, at home it's a lot of opera, punk and ska, seasonal music like Halloween music or Christmas music.
Right. So the west side of Aurora. You have a time bank over there.
I'm going to start one.
There's going to be
Yep.
one over there. Okay.
Yeah, because one of the things is you need to have the meeting. So I'm like waiting for COVID to be.
Yeah. Who's some like-minded or community organizations that you see in Aurora that you like and that are doing good? Are you familiar with any?
No, I'm just getting started. So if you throw out some names, that might be easier for me. I can tell you if I'm familiar with them.
Okay. The
Could
food
please.
pantry, like the Aurora Food Pantry.
Yeah, we have a lot, right? We have the Marie Wilkinson
We got
Food
Marie
Pantry,
Wilkinson's
and there's
Food
Holy
Pantry.
Angels Food Pantry.
Yes. And then there's the Aurora Interfaith Food Pantry.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen a lot of the Marie Wilkinson stuff on Facebook, and they look pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some cooking demonstrations and things.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Yes, those were really cool.
Yeah.
I love to cook. Downtown First Fridays.
Well, I love that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite place, favorite venue? What do you like to do when you're down there?
I really I love downtown itself. I'm
Mhm.
down there every couple of days, even now, walking around. So I love to just walk around and see my friends. I love to meet new people. We typically always go to If These Walls Could Talk, which
That's a
is a
good-
really fun gallery.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah,
And they
fun
always
gallery.
choose really neat artists.
Yeah. Favorite coffee place? Or you're not a coffee drinker? I know
No,
that. I know.
I've been to Indiro quite a bit,
Mhm.
and they're really friendly, and I love them. I've
Okay.
had some tea there.
Okay. And are you a foodie?
Yes.
Restaurant in town that you like?
My favorite is actually, and I always mess. Oh my gosh! So now I'm frozen. I can't think of the name, and I do not like mispronouncing it. It's Tecatitla?
Tecalitlan.
Yeah.
Tecalitlan, yes.
Yeah.
On the corner of, what's that, Downer and Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah, good place.
Yeah.
Good restaurant. All right. The time is now 8:30 a.m. and you are watching and listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we are learning about soup for my family from our friend Rachel Grosby. Okay. Who or where would you haunt as a ghost?
My own house, firstly. And then I think all of my friends that have most of my friends have a really good sense of humor and I'll say sense of spirit. So, good spirited folks, that's the fun. I would view, if it were possible, haunting people as a ghost is a really fun thing. Just to visit and play little tricks on them. Nothing scary.
Right, of course. What's next for Soup for My Family? What does the future hold for us?
Well, hopefully we will keep growing every single week so that more and more people get the word about it and they come and get soup. So just growth, I hope. As I said, I really hope to get a tent because it's so new and I came up with the idea just because I wanted to feed people and give community. And now each day I'm like, okay, wait, what about this? What about when it's colder? What about when there is some drizzle or snow? This may be a pipe dream because it's going to sound really big, but it would be really neat if eventually we were in a little space in downtown that people could come in, hang out a little longer, sit at little tables, get some shelter, have some soup, and again, no questions asked, just a fun, peaceful, loving space. I don't know how realistic that is because I don't know what spaces downtown would go for.
Once upon a time, there were two guys called the Wright brothers, and everybody was telling them, "You're trying to make things fly. It'll never happen." So
yeah,
we never know. One never knows, right?
I know.
Have you had any help from elected officials, the alderman of the ward that you live in, perhaps?
No, but I haven't contacted anyone.
Okay.
I do get shy about that type of thing. I need to get over that. John Glacier was kind enough to contact you, I believe, so that's some help.
Mm-hmm. He's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that our aldermen like to know, our city officials like to know when there's
I
something
don't
good
even
going
know
on.
what to say or what to ask for, and I think I feel bad ever asking anyone for anything. So
Why?
I know it's definitely from, when we grow up feeling like we're a burden to people, we learn to be very independent and not ask for help. So that sticks with us.
That's a good point. What did you learn growing up that helps or is a benefit to Soup for My Family?
How to treat people, to be kind. I think how important kindness is and what it feels like to not receive that and to not feel like you belong. So I grew up, I'm a grown-up now, and I know to not ever let people feel like that if I can help it.
You think people ever grow up and lose those feelings? Does a possibility exist, I should say, that those feelings will go?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think some things, childhood is so important, so very positive things stick with us, and we learn and grow from those, and very negative things stick with us, and we learn and grow from those.
Yeah, I had to learn to communicate better, and I've tried to make strides in doing that because, I, as opposed to not, my story was a little bit different. I've always wanted to just seek peace wherever it was, besides two parents fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So now to communicate to others to what I want or ask for help, that has been a challenge, but it's good to get over.
But you're here communicating so now you've made this a thing.
I have,
Is that interesting?
It is, yeah. Yep. It's kind of it's kind of like being afraid to fly, but being in that airplane and now you're having fun and talking to your next seat neighbor and everything. How you doing, buddy?
Airplanes flying is great. So
yeah,
that's I always, when someone says they're afraid of flying, I'm like, come on, you can do it.
You know the value of community, and one of the reasons why you know that value is because you've traveled and you've been to a lot of different places. Would you say that the experience of people needing help is universal?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about that a little bit more.
Well, there's so many forms of help. So again, it doesn't matter. You could live, we never know with people. You could live in a neighborhood of widely spread out estates or mansions, and there could be someone struggling to pay their mortgage. Or maybe they can pay all of their bills, but they are unhappy and they're sad and they're lonely and they need help in that form.
You lived in Alaska. What's the scene like? I've never been to Alaska. I have a lot of friends who've not been to Alaska. What's the scene of people needing help like in Alaska? How tough is it for people out there who are struggling?
It is pretty tough. So Anchorage is a very large city, so you have people like in other large cities such as Aurora or Chicago, where they're they're at the poverty line, or maybe they're middle class but they're still struggling and things are expensive, and there's some food, there's not always food security, and you have villages out there that have suffered. I don't want to get too much into that, but there's villages
Right.
where they were more, the Inuits and such were more independent at the time, and they've seen some ravages.
Right. Santa Barbara, to the point of the West Coast, and there being a middle class and poverty. I experienced that when I was in San Diego too. I saw that. Isn't it striking when you see the complete?
One in the yeah.
It is. The Skid Row that exists and the glamour and the glitz not too far away from the downtown area of Los Angeles, for example.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have been to Santa Barbara, but Los Angeles is just crazy.
Yeah. I thought when I visited LA and Hollywood, it was insane, the difference just even from one street to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not what you see in movies and TV. And it's so interesting because it is polarizing, and each side doesn't really have a deep understanding of the other, especially the people that are very well off. They can't fathom, they don't have a concept of how the other half is living or why. They think it's a choice, I suppose.
You mentioned green energy and initiatives.
Yeah.
How could those help Aurora and surrounding cities?
Well, it can help everywhere. Aurora is such a huge city, and it would be great. It would cut cost for us, so that's going to automatically make everything better for everyone. It's newsworthy, so I think it's going to bring us more. It'll how am I trying to word this? Tourist for the tourist.
Raise our profile.
People will be like, I want to go there, I want to see that, and then other cities will follow suit. And it's really always great to be a leader when you're a city. It's you want other cities to look at you and say, we need to do what Aurora is doing. We don't want other cities and towns to say, we don't want to do what Aurora is doing.
Right, exactly. I didn't ask you this yet. What's Aurora's biggest strength?
The people. The heart. I definitely think that there's a great community here. There's a great community of artists, and there's a great community of leaders, even if some of those leaders haven't found themselves yet.
Nice. When you're not making soup and putting warmth in the bellies of the Aurorans, making them feel good, what do you spend your time doing?
I spend a lot of time with my two children. I've always homeschooled them.
Mm-hmm.
Quick side note for anyone who's listening, the at-home e-learning is not the same as homeschooling, so if you're feeling stressed, feel free to look into homeschooling. It's easy and fun. What else do I do? Not much interesting. I have a small TV network I run and a little TV show.
It is a very cool TV show as well. Tell us about the TV show. Because I was gonna, you know what? Because we were gonna, but kick it off. Yes, tell us about it.
It is called Housewife of Horror. Just make sure to pronounce that correctly. Horror. And my husband Kevin and I grew up watching horror hosts like Elvira, Svengoolie on television, and so we love the old classic films. And yeah, we live in Aurora, which is the city of Wayne's World, which is also something I think we should capitalize more. If you watch the movie Wayne's World, they air on ACTV, Channel 10, which is our local TV station. So I got the idea, hey, honey, do you want to be horror host? Let's have a show, a small show on ACTV. So I developed the idea. We did air on there for a little while. I got picked up by another network, and then I thought, gee, this is fun, but let's start our own network and put it on Roku and Amazon Fire and have other shows on there.
Very cool. Very cool. When did you start that show? How long has that been?
2 years.
2 years? What is your most unusual talent?
I don't know. I don't know as far as talent. I know that sounds...
soup.
Yeah, I don't know, making soup. I think making connections with... I don't think that's a talent. I think... So I'm not sure about that. I think it's better if someone else answers that for me. But I think a thing that I do is making connections and making people... I want to make people feel good about themselves. I have an unusual thing about myself, which is I have one kidney because I'm a living kidney donor. So that's another thing I like to do in my spare time is talk about kidney donation with people and try to get people a little more open-minded about that.
Is there a good website or place people can get information on that? More about that?
Okay, they're for kidney donation. I am blanking on the name, so if you just Google kidney donation, the person that I donated to has PKD, polycystic kidney disease, so you can go look up PKD, and there's a lot of information on that that there is no cure for. So we're currently researching for that. And kidney donation is a really non-invasive surgery. I was up and walking around in 2 days and felt great, and my recipient is doing great.
That's good. Good. Wow, interesting. You are seriously a person out there trying to do things for people. I like that.
Yeah, and circling back to your earlier question of online, I found out about that through the internet.
Yeah. Somebody
posted on Facebook that Lori was in need of a O-positive match to be a kidney donor, and I read it and thought,
that's my blood type.
I'm an O-positive, so let me go do that.
That's interesting. That's great. I like that. I like that. So before I come back to my next food question, then I'd like to ask you about hauntings. Does Aurora have any hauntings that you know about, or any haunted places, or are there any local? Tell us what's.
There is actually a book on haunted Aurora that you can purchase through the Aurora Historical Society.
Oh, great place! Great place! Shout out.
Yes. Please check out the Aurora Historical Society. I am a docent there, so when the Tanner House is open, I give tours, and we won't be decorating this year, but not this year, but every Christmas, members choose a different room and decorate it to the nines, and there's like a voting thing. Now, the Aurora Historical Society has no official position because we don't want to make any members or donors feel a certain way, but I always feel it's a spirited place.
Gotcha.
Very positive, very happy spirited place. Leland Tower always makes me feel weird when I walk by. I get a weird vibe from it. I've never been in it. I'd like to check it out. I think this is on Downer. There's an old building that used to house the YWCA in the basement.
Is it in downtown? On Downer?
Yeah.
It's
it's tall and there's like office buildings upstairs and there's a haircut place.
Yes.
With really nice people there that do the
Right.
haircuts.
Okay. Yeah, I know which building you're talking about. Yeah, that's interesting. Whew. I see that building a lot.
Well, and then
crazy.
I think a lot of the houses on the east and west side, you know, they're so old. And my theory is that when the houses were built, the original owners had so much pride in the home that, you know, they wanted to stick around.
Stick around?
Yeah, after they died. We were talking about ghosts, so yeah.
No, I liked it.
My house has
you did it so
a couple of friendly
seamlessly. I was like, wait a minute. You'd be like, oh my god, like they're choosing to do that? That's crazy.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's not always some negative, murder house situation.
No, I don't think that either. No. The time is now 8:46 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we are speaking with Rachel Rose B. of Soup for My Family, also of Housewife of Horror. All right, so let's go into this. This is a good place I want to go with it. What to you makes a good horror movie? What are the elements that I need?
It depends what type of horror. I am a huge fan of horror comedies. So I like laughter and everything, so I want a little laughter. It doesn't have to be a spoof film, but
Right.
just I want there to be moments to break the tension where there's laughter.
Yeah.
And you think it's funny. So I mean, an incredible horror film needs the element of surprise. I like a little bit of gore, or maybe it's alluded to, a la Hitchcock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the suspense, the element of surprise, and it's the whole package. It's a good writer, a good director, good actor. So, good family on that set that worked to put everything together. It has to be somewhat believable where you get lost in the story.
I believe that too. I think the more plausible it is, it certainly adds to the. That's why I couldn't dig the Saw movies.
I don't like those.
It was so far-fetched, like, really? Come on, the cops would have caught this guy so long ago. Wow, that's so cool. Vincent Price.
Yes.
Vincent Price. Tell the listeners and the viewers who Vincent Price was.
Vincent Price was from St. Louis? St. Louis?
I think so. Yeah, same place. Yeah.
I'm always Missouri.
Yeah.
So Vincent Price was a Midwesterner. A very fun thing about Vincent Price is when you hear him speak, people often think he's from overseas, but he adapted the classic transatlantic accent, which is you just speak with certain clarity and a cadence to be heard on film for the talkies. Vincent Price is incredibly interesting. So he's known as the master of horror, and he not only starred in dozens of horror films, but this was a wonderful man. He loved the arts, so he did a lot for the arts. He teamed up with Sears to have this whole mid-century. He teamed up with Sears in the mid-century to have this whole artist collection and to get art into people's homes that might not have otherwise had access because they weren't, maybe they were more mid-century modest, so they couldn't go to galleries and spend all this money on art. So he did a lot for that. He was really philanthropic, and he is a foodie. So he did multiple cookbooks with his wife, and he loved to travel. I love Vincent Price.
What, in your opinion, was his best film? I mean, that's the one.
I can't even choose.
What's the one that you thought about when I asked that question?
The one that I thought about is one of my favorites, and it's a later film, and it's in color, and it's very campy, and it has some comedic elements to it, and I think it's called Monster Club.
Monster Club?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people will think about his older films and the classic horror films he did, but I love Monster Club, and I watch it so much.
Right.
And it's so good.
Very
I think
cool.
he really had fun with it, which is an important element to me in anything.
Yeah. What's the fun that you have in doing soup for my family?
Meeting people and seeing people get happy and excited, and I think just meeting people is always fun, and it's again that eye contact and getting to know people and raising their spirits, and they raise mine, and it's a nice exchange of energy, and just seeing people happy with their soup.
Right. What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
What's your favorite meal?
Pasta. So I make a good spaghetti with a homemade, the all-day spaghetti sauce, or I make a pasta, usually a fusilli, and I do like to hand make most of my pasta. So I make a sauce that's with shallots and white wine and honey and heavy cream.
Oh, that sounded good.
Chef's kiss.
Yes, my God, that sounds really good. I like bolognese sauce too. Bolognese sauce is really good. How can the city? You talked about your goal of perhaps having a location if that were to be feasible. How can the city help other like-minded folks like you to continue the good works and strengthen what you're doing?
Well, firstly, if there was possibly information out there, which I don't know, maybe I might ask the city and they'll say, oh, it's there, just go to the website. But people need more information. We're a modern society, so we like infographics put out on social media, and hey, there's these type of rates for this size shops, or there's mini grants available. I think a lot of people get intimidated by speaking to the government of their larger city, so maybe making things a bit accessible and friendly.
Right.
And if they are, and I'm upsetting anyone, I apologize. Just
No,
for me,
how would you
I feel
possibly?
like it's
No,
not
that's this is your this is your opinion. This is your opinion. Asking how it could help you out. One more thing, I think that the example that we show our kids is important too. When they see us doing nice things, they they get it in their head like, that's what I need to be doing for folks. Do the kids take part helping you cook or anything like that? Do they grind the cheese for you, something like that?
They help me with absolutely everything. They are two of the most pure, giving, loving souls I've had the pleasure of meeting. So they help me with that. They help with everything. They do generous stuff all on their own, and I'm not going to embarrass them or give a list of things they do. But yes, they help.
Nice. Good to have the whole family effort. That's good. So the show ends on a positive note. What is your message for the people out there in Aurora today on this Monday?
I love you. You are loved.
Can't beat that right there. Can't beat that. All right. This was a great interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate the time to sit down and talk to you. This was great. And I hope that Soup for My Family continues to do good stuff, and sky's the limit for you.
I hope so too.
Yep.
Truly.
Yep. All right. So on behalf of the second largest city, we appreciate you coming on to talk to us, and we hope that all of our listeners and all of our fans and subscribers go to our YouTube page, holler at us on Twitter and IG, and we will see you guys back tomorrow morning on the greatest morning show around, certainly in Kane and Cook County. Peace.